Is that recorded?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so there's the only people I think that type into a search engine.
Right.
I hear voices, CIA, brain implants. I've tried it a couple times.
Okay.
And they're directed to a site
Right.
by page 2 or the bottom of the page. Hear voices. Maybe you're a targeted individual. A person experiencing first episode psychosis does not buy they hear voices because they have a thought disorder. So obviously Google, who has tons of neuropsychiatrists on their team, understands this. So why would this be presented to somebody in a crisis mode to go into this fake narrative?
Right.
Once you're in this fake narrative, it says, do not take any medicines unless you absolutely need to. The narrative concerns MK Ultra, some pie-in-the-sky conspiracy theory type thing.
Wow.
So all the psychiatrists, are mind doctors, and they're all involved.
Oh, well.
A big them against poor you.
Well, I have an interest in this. 2 times in my life I've had psychotic episodes.
Well, if you were having a psychotic break, and I said, "Oh, listen, let's meet right now," and I start saying, "Listen, do not see a psychiatrist. I know this is a voice to skull weapon. The government's aiming voices at your head and aiming a microwave beam at your body to make you feel scared.
Right.
Do not go to the doctor, though. What you have to do, this is the second part of this scam, is leave evidence online constantly of what's going on with you.
Oh, my.
So you permanently disgrace yourself online by adding this term, hashtag targeted individuals, to your name. Now, your landlord might see it. Your job employer might see it. Your sister, your brother, everyone sees it. It's up there. You're leaving evidence that you probably wouldn't tell anybody except a psychiatrist.
The most sensitive of the information.
Yes, that you're saying, "Hello, I'm crazy."
Right, that you're not competent or something.
Right, but you're not. The targeted individual hashtag leads back. They're all like, I don't know if they're bots or real people. It's hard to tell because it doesn't make sense that they're sharing in the same manner they were.
Isn't there a law that says that you can't collect psychiatric information unless you have...
For all I know, this is a psychiatric project that somebody created this fake thing to get a whole bunch of people. But the point is, what do I care?
Right.
I care about somebody psychotic. Even if they get treatment, their name's permanently destroyed.
Yeah.
I don't care about anyone finding data to understand.
No, but what I'm wondering is the people who have created a program.
Could you bring up the term?
What are you talking about?
Are you on Google right now?
I'm on. There we go. I don't know why I don't get half a minute.
Now their thing is, these weapons are real.
Yeah, no, I was glad to meet with you.
But have you ever heard of these weapons? No.
No.
Has anyone heard of these weapons
somebody? I'm not the. You're much more. You're much more techie, and you get more. I don't know.
They get involved in proving these weapons are real by reposting maybe 60, 70 times, all during this non-stop evidence sharing that they were told to do by these websites that are basically...
Why am I getting all these servers not found? Is that because I'm not getting...
I've been getting that a lot.
How come? Do I have to go onto their... Don't they have any Wi-Fi?
Jesus, yeah.
Do they do the Wi-Fi?
Yep, that's how it goes. You could skip that part.
No, I'm going to go into it, but they should... this is what they claim they have for you, right?
Okay.
We're not going to serve at the point... Okay. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Do they have?
I made them a fire.
A Panero.
Yeah, they have it. Let me do this. Let me do what else we do.
I hate that.
Well,
they just like you just tap into the Wi-Fi, right?
Well, yeah, they do this. Okay, let me show you this.
There's somebody there.
Let me see. I think I'm going to try another.
All right. So, in the meantime, how would you begin this document? What would be the first word that most people would use? Would I have to use my name? James Bloom.
Well, you could maybe, we could do for you, we could do, because maybe sometimes I have to go through the law again on it, but sometimes you could be a fictitious, you could be a plaintiff and be, and I not have to reveal your name. Yes.
I prefer that.
But I think so. That's what I'm saying myself. To me, I think that, yeah.
All right, so how would the first statement go?
I would be like this, John Doe.
Okay.
That would be like John Doe, age.
You'd have to.
Age maturity. What is it? Adult. Me.
Okay.
John Doe, an adult male.
Okay.
Residing in the United States.
Okay.
States the following claim for which relief is granted.
All right. States the following
claim or claims for which relief is granted.
And then I state the claim.
Okay, so let me just say
in which relief is granted.
But yeah, we want. I'm not going to say you have to say what the relief would be, but you're going to say. First, we're going to say basically what the claim is, okay, and then we're going to.
Okay, the claim is that a fake narrative.
Fictitious. Fake narrative. Go ahead. Fake narrative.
And then, i.e., targeted individuals.
So fake narrative, i.e., targeted individuals, right?
Has been presented by Google.
But
that's the only search engine I'm aware of
what
I
was saying is that the violation is, we're going to say, federal law.
There's a violation.
Yeah, it's a violation. Right. That what's happening is.
People are being conned by their very sanity by somebody playing some weird game.
Right. So what we're going to say is a class of people, a class of persons which will be certified later in the complaint, which means that we're going to describe who could be
a class of persons
who will be certified later in this complaint. Okay. Residents of the United States.
Or you have to keep putting that in or something?
Yeah, you always want to say that. To get the federal, so you get in the federal court, you have to either state a conflict with.
All right, that's why these.
Okay.
All right. A class of persons who will be certified at a later time. In
the complaint.
Okay. I'm trying to do this verbatim for what you say.
Who are residents of the United States.
Who are
residents of the United States. Collectively. Collectively.
Okay.
Have collectively by the corporation, by a United States corporation. Okay, collectively
have been harmed by
harmed by the corporation.
They have been
harmed by the corporation. In that
harmed by
the corporation,
United States corporation.
Yeah, corporation that has violated their federal right to.
Okay, hold on.
I know I'm a fast talker, right?
Yes,
I'm real fast.
The
students died.
All right, has been. Harmed by this corporation that has violated.
Has violated their
trust.
Yeah, has violated their federal rights in regard to equal protection of the laws.
To vulnerable people. Violated their federal.
Their federal right of equal protection.
Right of equal
protection under the law. Selected statutes in the Bill of Rights.
You have to write that?
Well, what I want to say is that I'm putting everything out there. But I don't know if
all right, has violated the federal rights of equal protection under the law of...
Under the idea of equal protection means that they get the same protection for privacy that other citizens.
We're not talking. We're talking about the opposite of privacy here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They didn't get it. They didn't get it.
Privacy. I don't want did not even be in this lawsuit because all they use is the word privacy.
Oh, okay.
To not pay anybody that's participating in this fuck show.
Okay.
So I think the entire privacy thing is the last thing. Somebody saying, help me.
Okay.
The weapons are making me hear voices. Because that's all you hear.
Right.
So they're basically giving their address, their phone number, putting themselves out there creating websites that are basically to everybody but them saying, look at me, I'm a nutcase. Fire me. Look at me, I'm a nutcase. I get SSDI. I live in mommy's basement. I'm a pathetic loser. Who hears?
You think what's really happening when you discuss this more? What's really happening is they are
being exploited like a freak show. This is a freak show.
A protected class is a class, for example.
Okay, protected class.
The protected class of what is it? Mental health.
This is completely about mental health.
Right. So what I'm saying is that so one thing. Let me just start again. I'm just evolving with this, but I think the idea would be this: that the problem, what we're saying is this class of people are what is being violated by this corporation. These corporations.
Dignity.
Or their protected rights under, and I don't know what it's called, but I'm sure there's probably like the federal under the Federal Mental Health Claims Act or something. I'm sure there's
mental health protection of vulnerable
populations. That's right. The safeguards. I would say the safeguards codified, the safeguards codified in all federal mental health legislation.
Okay, so this mental health legislation that gives special protection to vulnerable
there's special protection, right, that's right. And so what they have done is they have taken the fraud that's occurring is particularly awful because it's against a particular class. That's like children or mentally ill or disabled.
So then it switches over to almost an elderly scam.
That's right.
Because this would also go into releasing whatever. To find out what the hell's happening with this data.
Yeah.
But that's a separate. This has many different. If I found out, because Facebook, for instance, refers somebody who's supposedly a targeted individual, by 2 years, the only people on their page are targeted individual. Facebook is basically saying, "Hey, psychotic Sally. Let's introduce you to Psychotic Jim over in Reno." Wow. So by the end of the thing, the only people on your Facebook page are crazy people. So anyone who even looks at your page, they don't even have time to make a judgment. All they see is crazy. So Facebook basically took the word, and then all it shows you and shows everybody else who pokes on your page, I am insane. The only people I know are basement dweller, popcorn ceiling, caving in.
Terrible.
Me eating cat. I don't know how many of these are fake or performance art, but the point is it creates this image of you, of me, of anybody associated as absolutely disgusting. If you look at the page, there's the photographs.
They're stigmatizing and marginalizing a particular class.
They're mocking these people.
This is terrible.
So Facebook is more to blame in a way than Google. So this is about suing Facebook, Google, and Twitter.
Okay.
Twitter refers the same thing. Refers people to the same type. So if you write the word targeted individual, like you're encouraged to by a man named Dr. Robert Duncan, everyone you know, and this goes on for while you're sharing your evidence, is crazy. So the only people you're interacting with maybe 10 hours a day, because you're jobless, hearing voices, schizophrenic, been tricked by this targeted individual thing, not to see, really not to take medicine, not to see a shrink, all day long, Right. You're sharing it. What are you sharing evidence of? If I asked that you're crazy, and this is how a crazy person behaves
and you're really
online,
thinking, and you're really trusting that that this is a helpful thing, and they make
but it's years later.
It's not good.
You have nothing to show for your time. You probably it's a shameful thing to be under. To me, the constant, because I've been doing this deliberately to show how angry one gets.
Yep.
Writing tally marks on a mental hospital wall. Look at me. I'm really being hurt by perps, they call it. There are all these words they use. Perps, electronic harassment. The perps are doing this. Here's a photograph of a black van with license plate. That's close to my birthday on the license plate, and you know what that means. The gang stalkers are really concerned that my evidence is moving along here. And you get everyone writing this thing, and I'm like, this would be funny if we were writing a book from the perspective of a lunatic.
Right.
Then where's the money if we're writing a book? Because I'm like, who? I constantly ask, who told you you're a targeted individual? T.I. Susan, your psychiatrist, or some shitty-looking webpage that looks like it was created to attract mental patients?
Right.
What are you talking about? You a perp trying to get me to stop typing, Jim? Or I'd be like, nah. I'm like, why are 10,000 people saying they're targeted individuals? Did HAL 900 beam that into all of our heads?
So the targeted individual means that they are being watched. They're being
watched.
They're being selected. They're being
watched. They're the chosen ones.
Okay, and they're chosen, but it's a awful. But
right. And people have written about this.
I was gonna get on my internet
over and over again.
Get on.
Trained reporters have reported.
You can't go to the server. Okay, what do you need?
You need the
network connection.
Yeah, let me find out.
Sorry,
I get jumpy, but I get angry.
No, it's good.
Every time I bring it up.
Well, I mean, I think it's like, I think it's very angry. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah, but I get so angry that I'm ineffective to even explain it to you, because it's just...
No, it's all right. Because basically, what I have to do is I like to put down things you say, and now that I'm going to be going and do my own research. I have to come to an understanding, more of an understanding. I understand what you're saying.
I want you to come at it by reading what other reporters have said.
Well, that's what I have to do. Absolutely.
And you to say, because I would read this and be like, okay, why hasn't this reporter contacted someone they see being abused?
Right.
They have power. The guy works for the New York Times. Why didn't he tell this guy named Timothy Trespass or whatever? They have this big, horrible picture of him. I'm like, why did they even use that image?
Yeah. So
this was not an image that New York Times needed to use, except to make him look like Frankenstein. Well, the point is, why didn't the reporter say, listen, dude, you have I'm totally mocking you. You came to me saying all these things you thought that I was going to report on and say, of course, this is really happening.
Right, because you were having a journalistic
experience. So there's other aspects. Then there's this documentary, and I don't know if that was performance art either, but the visual on Google, what we call Vice, Meet the Targeted Individual Community, looks like 3 faces of Eve. Then they slap some shit on their face.
Well, the idea would be
so it's all to disgrace anybody.
Well, it's all the bait and switch, the dishonesty of it.
It's shady.
We have this massive oppression going on in the United States where we are taking...
but, these are... They're saying everyone's the same. Everyone needs dignity. But if you look at the way mental patients are portrayed in Google images with 3 faces going it's disgusting.
It's really awful. I think mental health.
That's why people don't get help.
Well, if you look at people who the mental health services of the United States is so like still in an 1850s
Oh,
mode,
Christ,
where
it's
you used to like
demeaning.
put them in the middle, chain them in a thing.
Give them some crayons.
It hasn't moved much from there. That's right.
It hasn't moved at all.
And that's what it hasn't. If you
And
look
then
at
the Joker movie comes along to make it look even worse.
well, if you look at national disgraces of things that have not even begun to be addressed, it's the
yeah,
oldest
but
mental health
it's
issue.
bizarre seeing that the gay and black thing all, they got rid of the Watermelon Man shit.
Oh.
But it's Watermelon Man's all over the mental health stigma. So it's just like, wake up. Get rid of these images that create
stereotypes. The stereotype.
Oh, God. Welfare queen. Bullshit.
Right.
Social security crayon artist.
Right, but okay, the mental health of this whole... So what happens here is that our goal would be what we want to be able to...
Yeah, but we have to stick to only... That's your job.
Yeah,
is to stick to only... nothing passionate.
Well, I have to think of... What I have to do is I have to come up with this.
Yeah.
I have to research.
It has to be the opposite of how I'm acting now.
Well, what we would do is research. I mean, what comes up where you put your passion is when you have that first hearing.
Yeah.
When you file briefs.
But this has to be completely without passion.
The has to be passion.
So that's what you have to do.
Just the fact, man. That's right.
Just
Here's the law. This is what happened. There's a violation. We want action.
Now, I think Google knew damn well not to keep this up.
But
they could claim an algorithm is chucking the stuff up. Then if it comes about, well, the algorithm is responsible.
Wow.
I don't think just an algorithm is slapping this shit up on the search engine. I think a real person is. I don't care if they're misinformed or what.
But
they should have known better.
Right.
So I think the law would have to be, I should have known better. 3 people have been killed by this targeted individual meme. Let me find.
So find out that I'm really thinking we have to. Yeah, I have to do some research actually to make sure to see if there's been any filings related in any way.
Yeah, if you could find it.
Oh yeah.
Previous filing.
Because I believe there must be at least one person
No,
somewhere.
I only found one person claiming that their son was dragged into this bullshit. Just one person who at least even stated, my son's life has been destroyed by this
But I wonder.
fake
Okay.
narrative. I found her name. I was going to try to contact her because with a mother bringing it up about her son. Notice my mom though.
Your mom, what is she up to?
Oh, I don't know. If I were my mom, I'd jump all over this because she just, I don't know. That's another problem.
She's an interesting individual. Like I always feel like really like connected to you. I've always felt very connected with that. I don't always know how to connect with your mother. Although
she has.
I don't know.
Going on.
I just feel like sometimes when I say something, even like for example, in the meeting even, she's like, well, there's something.
Well, I don't want to record this.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I'm sorry for bringing it up. I'm just saying.
No, but
I wish. Not me.
Yeah.
It would have to be someone separate. First of all, I'm considered a mental patient because I write this story. I get SSDI, which is less than 800 a month. To exist on.
Right. So
which one cannot exist on? I used to draw pictures. Those were even optioned or those were rethought of as mental patient artwork. No, they sold them as outsider art, which basically means, look, Mr. Mental Patient drew a picture. Let's sell Mr. Mental Patient's art. So it wasn't even considered real art. It was sold as outsider art, and which has connotations that aren't that much different than this targeted individual bullshit.
Yeah, you always wonder. I mean, I wonder myself, having been, I have 2 psychotic breaks, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know you don't know where that information is. Really? I don't know.
Oh, that information, sometimes you could get it expunged. If you were 302'd or had a civil commitment, there's new laws that you could get that expunged from your record.
It's such a big area. It's such a big area, but it's such a big issue.
Well, I'm sick of people that are mentally ill, not even being able to get a foot in the door in a courtroom. And so the only way to go about this is to say, oh, hell yeah, I'm mental as shit. But does that mean that I'm supposed to be exposed to this idiotic narrative? Written for a small child.
Yeah, it's a national disgrace.
Because people have latched onto this. Gavin Long went and blew away 4 cops.
Who's Gavin Long?
Aaron Alexis went and blew away an entire bunch of army-based people. These were people who claimed they were targeted individuals.
Really?
Where the fuck did they get the name targeted individuals? Unless somebody told them they were that, which is Google search. And then there was another, Myron May.
Myron May
killed several people in FSU University. Saying electronic harassment, he was going to not die in vain, take some with him. So this is not some Pizzagate bullshit.
No.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But this is saying, so someone hearing voices, you know where the voices are coming from? They're coming from that fucking AT&T tower. I'm going to blow up Nashville. So this is not a silly, it might be a silly thing.
It's not trivial, absolutely not.
But it's pushing people to attack stuff like cell towers.
Well, that's right, because that's right.
Because I'm telling you, your voices are coming from cell towers. Well, go burn down the cell tower. And Google is presenting this. It's not saying specifically itself. It's saying the same damn thing as the fucking truth. You have some guy saying, I'm Dr. Robert Duncan. This is called Project Soulcatcher. I created these weapons. And the guy presents himself, makes videos. I see him talking to the people full time on Facebook. I'm like, you nutcase.
It's the most horror of
and in real time.
That they would go after the most vulnerable population.
Exactly.
It's like, if you look at everything, I mean, it's just...
And it's all being played out in real time.
Right
at this minute, you have Dr. Robert Duncan talking to T.I. Sally and, they come into your dreams. Oh, yeah. It's a hive mind. Could be 4 of them talking to you at once through the hertz of 600 hertz.
Right.
All this jargon, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Telling this woman that her voices come from...
It's a national disgrace, and it's one of the most
in real time.
It's one of the ugliest things that hasn't even been touched.
Right. So all I want to do is make them take down the fucking thing and pay people back who wasted years of their life typing about this shit. And if I find out Facebook and Twitter been selling their shit to the NIH or whatever the fuck it's called, as schizophrenic research, and didn't pay these people, then I'll go and blow them up.
I'm gonna tell you something. Yeah, I think it's really big. This is so big, and it's the last hurrah. It's the thing that nobody has. Well, it's the ugly little nightmare.
Oh, it's an ugly little nightmare, very ugly. And it's right in plain sight.
And it makes racism and all these other things
FBI
are pale.
has done jack shit. It's written about by one magazine as a cult, a gang-stalking cult. The FBI has a duty, if they use the word cult, to go investigate. Why the fuck is this guy still allowed to tell people that are mentally ill their voices come from fucking cell towers?
What they're doing is they're allowing people to... But they're allowing these arts to control.
Maybe for a test. I don't care why. It has to be taken down. I don't